Welcome to another Kyle High Club podcast episode. Today, as usual, I've got a very special guest. His name is Jeanre Leo. Welcome to the podcast, Jeanre.
Thank you, bro. It's wonderful to be here. I'm pretty excited. My first podcast. Thank you for having me.
I seem to have a trend where I usually get people to do their first podcast. So I'm gonna classify myself as the podcast virginity taker, the cherry popper.
You just king, bro, because you get to have the first say, with the person. So that's great.
In the infamous words of our Lord and Savior Sinead O'Connor, the first cut is the deepest.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
So, Jeandre, would you like to tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do on this planet Earth?
Okay. Well, everyone calls me Jay because they can never say my name properly. But anyways, I'm a drummer. I live in Cape Town. I'm in Tableview. I'm married. Have
Table.
two kids. Tablevoix, yes, that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I also work at Tom's Music in Cape Town. So yeah, anything music related is pretty much great. I jam the drums, I sing.
So, if you took music as a lifestyle choice, and it's quite a bizarre, and I've had a couple of musicians on the podcast as well. But that's actually a very big risk because music is such a lucrative industry to be in, especially in a country like South Africa. So, how have you decided to, like, listen, I'm dedicating my life to this one thing?
Well, it kind of started. I started playing drums when I was 14. So some people might say that's a bit late. I think it was a good time to start. So ever since then, I just had even before I actually had a fascination with the instrument. So here we are, like 20 years later. But getting to what you've asked, I pretty much just threw myself in the deep end and like phoned everyone that was session drummers in Cape Town. Hey man, how does this work? How do you charge? What is the going rate? How do you physically just phone everyone and every person you can think of and go hang out with them, go meet with them, go to shows, ask questions. It's like with anything, I think. If you want to know, you're gonna go in and find out.
You know what? But I think one of my, biggest envies in the world that I have with certain people, especially someone like you, is you found something that you're really passionate about and you're doing it. Like I'm still like I don't even know, to be honest. It's late for me. I'm 33 years old. It's late for me to try and find a passion. I've been in a situation where I've kind of like just traveled all around the world and just tried everything and just experienced a bunch of things, but I haven't really found something I'm super passionate about and monetizing it. And I think that's beautiful. I mean, knowing I like this and I want to do this for the rest of my life. I mean, how do you know? It's kind of like being married to someone. You just know, right?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, I knew before I could even play the instrument, this is what I want to do. This, it,
I
it's super strange.
it's just like I'm gonna play drums. That's it.
That's it. I'm gonna play drums, and however I get there, it's gonna happen in whatever capacity it may be.
So
Original band, cover bands, overseas contracts, whatever.
So, as a musician, and I get a lot of musicians on this podcast, you guys are very, very easy to ask. I love it. But do, is there a difference? Is there a difference in the way you play music versus the way you listen to music? And do you think? understanding the music makes what you're listening a lot more valuable versus someone who doesn't know music and just like, I like this beat or whatever. Do you think being able to play an instrument put you kind of like into a listening advantage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I have to try and go back and think about listening before I could play and listening now that I can play, it's two different worlds. It's like then you're just listening, you know. It's like, oh, this sounds cool. I like that. I don't know what he's doing, but I like that. When now you have a more in-depth knowledge of what's going on, and you're like, man, that guy really thought about, you know, playing that full in that place and that specific full out of hundreds. Why? Because that song calls for that specific thing, which is amazing. You know, the way the thought process behind every fill, every stroke, every freaking guitar lick that you can think of, vocal line, melody, it's all planned out.
Has this ability to listen to it with regards to like you're able to peek under the skirt of music because you are a musician yourself, has that kind of like poured over to different mediums of art, because as a musician you make music videos and you plan your music videos accordingly and you make album art and stuff like that. So do you look at art differently? Do you look at movies differently? Other forms or art forms and mediums, do you look at them differently, seeing that as an artist, as a creative, you accept the art a lot better than someone who doesn't know the art? So, yeah, I think that's
Absolutely.
what I wanted to ask. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Like, I remember when I bought Blink 182, the self titled album, I read that thing cover to cover, you know, every single word. And like the pictures in there, the imagery, the style of writing, everything ties in with one another for that theme. So it's from the music to the look to the feel, you know, everything's got to mesh together. And even with myself, like when I'm writing stuff or writing for an artist or working with someone, I like to kind of think about how I would interpret the music as well as what would the physical look like, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. The actual final product.
Exactly.
There's a there's a such a weird thing. I don't even know what to call it. Right, this little spark inside of me that ignited the more I dive deep into, and I like music because I feel music is kind of like my gateway drug into different forms of art. And if it wasn't for music, I didn't wouldn't have experienced it, from resonating to the lyrics and, like you say, the cover books and everything like that. And how do you think in today's digital age, like you're talking about the covers and everything like that, being seen as an artist or a creative, how has that changed?
Wow. Yeah, that's a question, hey? And I don't think there is one simple answer.
No.
Um, because, you know, I'm used to growing up with physical copies. I mean, I'm still from the time when cassettes came out, so you know, I'm
Yeah.
pretty ancient. So I don't know. I'm always in two minds about it. Like I totally understand that the digital way is now the way, and it's cool because everyone can hear everything from back then to new people who, you know, might only have like 100 listeners, but everyone is out there, you know, on the interwebs, freaking killing it, and that's
Yeah.
great. The only thing is, like, sometimes I still feel that it's not the same, you know. Like I still want to have that, you know. Like I can't go out and listen to, I don't know, let's say the new Foo Fighters album, which is great, by the way. Uh, and cool, I've heard a single. Now I need to go buy the whole copy in order to hear the whole album. You know, then you don't know if it's going to be shit or not. It's kind of, you've bought it now. There's your $200 spent, and
Yeah,
you
now it's yours.
exactly. Where now it's like, cool, I listen to one song, I listen to the second song, cool, I don't like it, and then I don't listen to it ever again.
But
So
yeah,
in a way, it's good. It's good because you can, you don't have to waste your time. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. I feel that there's just too much information, and we just don't get through all of it.
but here's the thing: a value. I have got all of my CDs. I've got a ton of CDs, and I've got a bunch of vinyls, and I've got cassette tapes too. And what I have found was growing older,
Hmm.
I experience certain albums differently because I remember buying certain albums and I thought they sucked. You know, like for instance,
Absolutely.
the first AFI album was just what is this? You know, it's like, uh, and but growing older, I take that same album that I know very well. I know every single page really well, and then with the experience I have right now, I appreciate the art, the physical art of the album, and I can see the aesthetic, I can see the design, I can see the idea behind it, the concept, the story behind it.
Yeah.
Where back then, if I had Spotify, I could have listened to it and be like, oh, that sucked, and I would have never actually really revisited it. But now revisiting that same album, I'm like, wow, this is actually a concept album, and it's paving the way for the future albums and how they're progressing from that point. And I only know that now after the appreciation I've gained for other forms of art and not just the music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I mean, if you think a lot of these, I mean, this might not even be on the same wavelength that we're on now. But I mean, a lot of artists are Honor Carstens, for instance. He paints, like so he's spilled into a whole nother side of art. So it's not just music.
Yeah.
That paints portraits and whatnot, which is quite amazing. And it hangs in art galleries, which is great. You know,
But now you
yeah,
get creditability what I found amazing. So one of my favorite creatives in South Africa is Toast Kutzer. I've had him on the podcast before, and he's one of my heroes. Right, I know him from a band called the Buck Fever Underground, a spoken word poetry band, and I've always been obsessed with poetry. And he helped release like these little anthologies of all kinds of creatives in South Africa called Ons Kleintjie, with art and poems and drawings and comic books. I didn't even know what this guy's name was, but I've collected these little books at Oppikoppi and all kinds of places like that until I attended a workshop with Jaco van der Merwe, and he explained who Toast Kutzer was, and Buck Fever Underground, the band, was immediately connected to these anthologies. And now this one guy, I know him from one art form, which was kind of like an anthology book when I didn't even know it was him. Now I'm connected to one person, and I'm stuck in his lore. He's spoken word poetry band. He's got another band called Walkie Talkie. He does, you know, he writes for the Vach magazine and all kinds of things like. Now I'm stuck in that one person's lore, and like you're saying with Honor Carstens, take thing is someone like what's that guy's name? The Kolkop guy. Nathaniel. A lot of people know him as the huisgenoot sweetheart who does recipes, but this guy acts, he sings and does all the things. But now you've got credibility as a creative where someone knows you from one art form and it spills over to the rest.
there we go. It's insane, dude. It's insane. You start off as one entity or whatever, and then a couple of years down the line, and then there's like five of you, five different versions of you.
But the journey that I think that I want to touch on is now you think you like this person for his music, and now all of a sudden you get into art because of that one person, and now you start exploring other art forms or other forms of poetry or other forms of music and everything like that. So I think it's beautiful how multi creatives actually paves the way for people exploring different mediums of art around that person, and that can be and and I go down that rabbit hole with genres. I find one genre, and that genre is inspired by another genre, and now that's kind of like a new age genre. It's something on its own, and then there's a lot of people being inspired by that, and then there's a whole entire following on that. Now I'm into like this micro genres because I was obsessed with one guy, which is in like five different bands, and he's created his own little mini genres, and now that has broadened my horizons with music. And all of those people have got different styles of music videos and art that comes along with it, and now I'm literally just obsessed with art.
Yeah, it's it's fascinating. It's amazing. I love it. And yeah, man, it just blows my mind. Like sometimes I just get speechless on how all these things just evolve. And yeah, art is always evolving. Music, physical, like it never stops. And sometimes it's hard to like keep track because one minute you look, you got this thing, the next minute it's something else, completely different, and you're like, when the fuck did that happen? And how did that happen?
But
What was the
just
reason?
just think about the evolution of your instrument alone, where it comes from to what you have today with just drums.
It's insane, dude. It's crazy. Like those dudes from with the Kings, and just sitting there like playing to the lovely women and serenading them, and now it's like now we're rock and roll, and we're just serenading the people in a whole new fucking way, which is sick. I love it.
What is your what is your if you have to like pinpoint the evolution of a form of art or an item or an instrument or anything, what is one microform? I spoke about this briefly in my previous podcast, also with a nice punk musician, about evolution of generations and everything. What would you say is something seminal that has evolved into something beautiful?
Jeez, bro. This is probably the deepest conversation I've ever had with someone in a long time.
Welcome.
Thanks. Wow. Like I told you, you're gonna rack my brain here, bro.
It's a
I don't wanna say I'm eating a blank, but I kinda am.
oh.
It's sad. It's pretty sad.
Well, I
When
kind of like, huh?
don't choke there, bro.
Sorry, I'm dying since birth.
Oh, well, that's the damn truth, yeah.
Well,
What did you were gonna say something, what?
no, well, in my previous podcast, I talked about how evolution of culture and generations trapped over, and one beautiful thing that I could actually like kind of like spark imagination to you is, you know, it was a song that was originally written by SR-71, that 1985 that was covered by Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
Um, so that is currently a generational, um, uh, what's a treasure trove, because people found that song, and I found this artist called Dawn, and she actually got Bowling for Soup to collab with her in like a relevant 90s version of that song called 2002. How this chick is obsessed with 2002. And I
Wow.
just find that's really cool because it's still got this, it's the same song that you know the lyrics of 1985, you know the catch, you know where the chorus is and everything like that. And she talks
Yeah.
about Britney and Rihanna, and since when Fear Factor on TV, and since when did become Netflix become TV, and all kinds of things like that. And the fact that she got Bowling for Soup to do like a new age generational gap of that, I find that micro evolution in culture beautiful.
That is pretty fucking amazing, actually. Now I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna go check it out as soon as we're done.
yeah. So that
Oh,
is one thing that I find, like, I'm obsessed with cultures, and how, for instance, think about it. Someone asked me the other day, "Are you Afrikaans or are you English?" And I didn't know how to answer that because my mom is English, my dad is Afrikaans. So I can't say I'm 100% Afrikaans, even though I can speak the language fluently. but I can't say I'm 100% English either. So there's a new generation of people who comes from like parents who's got Afrikaans and English parents, but they're in a culture of their own. Even though they're brought up in one specific house, that next generation of kids, they're all in a culture and a generation of their own, having like split families. Because I can't say I'm Afrikaans, I can't say I'm English, and everybody who grew up in houses like that, we're all in a new different culture. So yeah, I think culture influences inspiration, and inspiration is like the direct impact on art. So that's one thing that I find beautiful in evolution.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm English. My wife is Afrikaans. So there we go.
So
There's the beginning.
your children is in a generation of their own. They're not even part of your generation or your wife's generation. They're part of their own little universe now, even though they were brought up in your house.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird. Not when you think of it like that, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, like your kids is like they're part of you. They're like 50% of both of your DNA. So that's like 100% of a brand new version of a human being that's in existence out there now.
Damn, I'm not going to sleep tonight, bro. My mind's just going to out of whack.
But how does so do you so in your household do you actually try and seep over the knowledge of the arts to your children?
I do. I mean, they have played drums a few times, and I'm learning piano myself, so I like to let them dabble as well with me. My dad's a piano teacher, so he was teaching my eldest son in the beginning. So yeah, when I have time, then I try and share the knowledge, what I know,
What
because
is
I'd
a
like them. I want them to be emerged. Wow, my words are fucked. To be immersed in that environment. Even though I'm playing a lot, I want them to be there. I want to share that with them. That
Why do you
gift.
think that's important?
It's important because music's important to me. So, and I believe that because I got it from my dad, that was something we really bonded over and still do today. And I think that's something I can bond with my kids, even though they
Do
like sport as well. My eldest like pretty much fucking everything. I'm like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, that's all good. Like I'll support you 100.
But have you seen this drum set?
Exactly. You remember that piano in the house? You should actually play that and
Gathering
put
some
that.
dust, bro.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, let them do everything until they really want to do one thing or three things.
Who would you
Let them
say?
experience. Hey,
Who would you say is your main reason you decided like drums? That's the thing. Who was that one person?
wow. No, no, yes, bro. If I have to just pick someone off the top of my head, it's Travis Barker. We all wanted to be Travis Barker at one stage in our lives.
What is
Some
it
of us
about
still.
Travis Barker?
Dude, he just had such style. You're so gangster yet so rock star at the same time, and still is today. Um, I don't know so much about his dress code these days. It looks very much like Machine Gun Kelly. Sorry for all you guys who like Machine Gun Kelly. I got nothing against the guy. It's just I don't know.
I call
But
Travis
stuff.
Barker the Sam L. Jackson of drums.
Oh, okay, that makes
because
sense.
because Sam
Real
L.
sense.
Jackson is in every movie, so it's like featuring Travis Barker. He's like in almost in every band.
No, the guy's a fucking legend. Like he's kind of kept himself going through all the genres. Fucking with Soldier Boy and Machine Gun Kelly. He just not so long ago did Avril Lavigne's album, if I'm not mistaken, um,
Whoa,
which is insane. I mean, that guy's fucking everywhere.
yeah, he's like Sam L. Jackson. He's in every movie.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's great. It's great. I mean, the guy deserves all the credit because he's a machine. He's a fucking machine. And now that Blink's back together, I really hope this album's going to be fucking off the hook because we've all been waiting for it since their self-titled album.
You know
Even though
what?
Neighborhoods was okay.
You know what? You're probably gonna hate me for this, but I've never been a Blink guy. I've always leaned.
I still
I've
love you.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know, for some reason I kind of like lean towards more towards the Angels and Airwaves aesthetic to I don't know, there was something more about I resonated more with Angels and Airwaves. It was atmospheric. It made you, even though the music was fresh, it still sounded like you know this from somewhere, you know? And I kind of like that, that's why I resonated a little bit more to Angels and Airwaves. I kind of like very atmospheric, angelic type music that's fun at the same time.
Well, speaking about Angel and Airwaves, I'm a big fan of them too. I love Tom. I love that band. And now that Ilan Rubin's in there, it's stupid good, man. It's
But
brilliant. I love it.
coming back to what we talked about earlier, how one person can influence you in something else, like Angels and Airwaves is the reason why I started loving film and enjoying movies a little bit more than I just, oh, that was a good movie. Because I remember
Yeah.
what someone told me, Angels and Airwaves brought out a movie, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And the movie is called Love.
Yeah.
And I watched this, and that was the first movie I've ever watched in my whole entire life where I sat and I had to think and I had to sit in silence for an hour and just think about my life, as and I was I was 18 years old or something. I don't know when that movie came out, but I had my first existential crisis after watching that movie, and that made me rethink every single other movie that I've watched.
That's Tom, bro. Tom is just a weirdo. Aliens
But
and all, but he's done something magical from Angels. Now he does film. He's conceptually that mind of his is just it's ridiculous. Where he comes up with all these things and the inspiration behind it, it's fascinating.
But that's when I
Honestly,
became obsessed. That's when I became obsessed with what other people are like this. This artist is into film. This director also is in a band. Keanu Reeves play bass in this band, and so then my obsession started trying to find those little golden nuggets of Easter eggs that's out there. That is what made my journey obsessed. Is there someone
yeah,
that's done that to you?
no, no, not
No,
really.
no.
No, no. Usually all the people that I find they're just like in different bands. Like I'm a big fan of Under Oath,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm sure you are too, because we all I think we might even all have gone to the same show when they came
yeah.
here.
With Neil Altum, yeah.
Yes, yeah, lekker man. And Aaron Gillespie, the drummer, has his own band called The Almost, where he fronts it and plays guitar and vocals. And I love that band. I mean, he brought out a new album, I think, I want to say last year, possibly the year
What
before.
what's the lead singer's name again?
Spencer.
He's also in another band, Sleepwave.
Ah, jeez. I did not
Dude,
know that. That's great.
fuck, dude. When I listened to Sleepwave for the first time, I didn't know Spencer was on vocals, and kind of like same thing with Angels and Airwaves, where I was like, "What is this?" And when I found out it's Spencer, that completely changed my whole entire perspective of this whole entire band now, because it's Spencer. It's one person that I know from somewhere else, and now it's got that creditability.
Agreed. Agreed. That is so weird. I saw Hein Kruger today in our store, and it's like, fuck, it's the bass player from Starterkillers. I remember opening for them like in 2000 and I don't know, I want to say 10, And I was like, fuck, I love this band. And this oak is standing right in front of me, just having a normal day. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? It's like, I still have that nostalgia. Even though these oaks are like the same age as me and whatnot, it's still
Well,
like, wow,
did you have a conversation with him?
a little bit. I know he was busy with work most of the time, so. But I was like, hey, bro, good to see you. Do you remember that time when we opened for you guys? He's like, yeah, 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 like a show, man. It's like sick days.
Denk aan wat jy doen.
Yeah, bro. Yes, like it.
But
No,
also,
but
one
don't.
thing. No, please continue.
No, carry on, carry on.
There's a just continuing on this journey with multiple bands and multiple inspirations. Like it baffles my mind to this day that everybody in Straatligkinders decided like, listen, we want to start a different band, but not with power in it. So all of them decided to start Moses Metroman, where they literally just replaced power. I I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I always found that really funny.
Did they replace him, or did Boa just get too busy with his side stuff, like
So
film
how it
and stuff?
so how it looks for me and whoever's listen. I don't care who listens to this, so people can get angry at me. This is my it's my podcast, and I say what I will. And Bauer, come speak to me if you have a problem with this. So what it looked like is the first album was great. It was a great album, and then from there on out, Straatligkinders. I don't know what happened to Bauer's voice. It's almost like he tried to sound like Tom DeLonge, but he just sounded extra whiny. And how I like to imagine it in my head, what happened was everybody in Straatligkinders except Bauer had a meeting. It's like, okay, we need to just find out if we can sound better with a different vocalist. And if you listen to Moses Metroman, this guy's vocals are insane. His falsettos, his range is off the charts. So that's the only reason why I thought, like, listen, let's see what we sound like with a different vocalist. you know, that's how I like to imagine that happened.
Man, I dig Moses Metroman as well. Moses Metroman. I'm so fucking English. It's unreal. But Hegelaar, that music video just blew my mind. Those fucking fairy lights are just killer.
Yeah, I watch Samurai. I mean, the guy's vocals and Samurai and everything. It's like if you know it's the same bands, like how do they sound so pristine and crisp? And Straatligkinders is almost like okay. I'm sorry. I'm taking everything back that I'm saying right now. I'm a big Straatligkinders fan too, but there are certain South African bands which it almost kind of feels like what you say, like it almost feels like the band got busy after a while and it feels like they needed to bring out a new album because there are certain albums where there's one or two albums that I can listen and then the rest I kind of like lost it. And there's a lot of international bands too where you fall in love with the first two albums and then it's kind of like they missed the plot and it's almost like you lost your love for those guys. Like what happened, guys? It's almost like they broke up with you and moved on with their lives.
No, it's true. It's true. Like, if I have to think of the South African bands here, like, they get so freaking, how do I say it? They're the popularity is right there, and they're like on that cusp of just being the next thing. And then it's like, hey guys, I'm tired. Let's call it quits. And then it's like, what?
Why?
Why? You guys have put so much fucking time and effort into making this thing a thing. You guys just pull your fingers, and then
It's the
everything goes crashing to the
It's the
fucking ground.
Justin Timberlake effect. One guy, Justin Timberlake's, and then they leaves the rest of NSYNC behind.
Fuck it, bro.
That's what that's what happens.
It grates me so much, bro. And also another unwritten rule that also like grates me is bands. Okay, this is obviously going way back, and it's personal experience, but band members dating band members. That's a no-no, bro.
Oof,
That's an
that's a big
absolute no. Yeah. Because
big.
if they're having a sour time, you're gonna have a sour time. Just the way it
Mm-mm-mm.
is. But yeah,
Everybody, everybody is sleeping on the couch, even though you're not in that relationship.
exactly. Bro. Ah, yeah.
But
Nah.
speaking of microevolution,
Hmm.
uh, this is, I guess, this is the topic of my recent podcast. So whatever.
Here we
One
go.
One band that I feel, well, actually, I'm gonna dive deep into a treasure trove of this inspiration demonstration. Uh, Two bands which I feel did this really, really well without losing me personally. I don't know about other people, but without losing me as a loyal customer. Bring Me the Horizon, right?
Mm-hmm.
They started off with deathcore before even deathcore was big. They were
Yeah.
like ahead of their time with that, right? And just when people started, when all of everyone else, like Oscar and Alexandria and all of those other cats came out with deathcore and it was a vibe, you know, they
Yeah.
already started doing a dubstep album, and it wasn't even called dubstep yet. They had Sonny Moore before he even was Skrillex on that album. They had Knife Party and all of these big dubstep guys to collab on this album. Their Suicide Seasons cut up album, and they already released it. And when dubstep was a thing, they were already planning to do their transition to add vocals towards core. You know, when Sempiternal came out, that was the first album. It's kind of like they went in hot, they went in deep, you know, full
Mm-hmm.
on screaming. And if you take it like a little gauge, you know, like a kilometer gauge, they started rising and getting rid of vocals, you know, and you can on There Is a Hell, Believe Me, I've seen it. They started incorporating a little bit of more clean vocals. In Sempiternal, Ollie starts singing. And then when That's the Spirit and all of from that came out, boom, what is this? He's full on singing right now, and everybody thinks that's lame. Some people thought it's lame, but then you saw Linkin Park, Oscar Alexandra, all of those other guys also started bringing up out pop albums. You know, when Ammo came out, full fledged, almost pop album. So if you look at this band right now, not only have they dabbled in all of these genres, just look at their arsenal and range of what this band can successfully do and still maintain their popularity. So what that entitles them to do. Some of the pop people know Bring Me the Horizon, but oh wow, they've got this album, they've got that album, and they've got this album. Now that one band has introduced a multitude of people into different genres, no matter of what from what album you started listening them from, you know, how amazing is that? And now you've got one band that's released like an album in several genres. I mean, how many people do that?
Yeah. It is quite insane when you think about that. Like, I was a Bring Me Horizon fan, but when they went to the dubstep, I wasn't much of a fan, and that's okay. Like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
And I'm not ashamed to say that. You can't please everybody,
yeah, yeah,
but you are right in saying that they literally brought a multitude of people together from all
yeah.
aspects, which is really amazing because, again, like you said, not many people do that. That's usually one way and the only way. You know what I mean?
And another person that I fucking adore, which is my musical hero in the world, Davey Havoc from AFI. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
the first AFI album was super punk, and he slowly transitioned into post hardcore. And from that post hardcore, they went a little bit more electro and dreamy, you know, if you think about their The Burials album. And then they went super, almost poppy, but not completely poppy. And what Davey Havoc done was, instead of, keeping it within one band, he started creating different bands. Like, he's got a really hardcore punk band called Extremist. He's got a electro band called Black Audio, and he's got a dream pop band, like which is like a 80s revival band with the remaining members of No Doubt. So he basically replaced Gwen Stefani by the band called Dreamcast,
Oh, is that's so cool.
right? So now, if you find out his other bands and you start doing research and you get introduced to AFI and see this portfolio, that's already gonna introduce, like, bring a lot of other people together too, no matter where you start finding him. And I think multi-creative people like that is so valuable, especially in today's age where people have got the accessibility to be able to do this research instantly, where back in the day we had to rely on some random dude standing in line in break telling us that Marilyn Manson released got rid of one of his ribs to just so he can suck his own dick. I mean, we couldn't just Google these things. We just had to know this. Like, okay, cool. This is the vibe.
Yes, bro. You gotta love the music industry, eh? There's always some bullshit happening.
Yeah, but I think it's valuable for people, especially in today's age, talking about right now, having the ability to be able to research these things so quickly and rapidly. And I think that's the value of these multi creatives.
Agreed. Agreed. It's yeah, man. It's quite mind blowing if you think about it. I mean, I keep saying that, but it's true. It really is.
Well, you've
One
played in
guy.
a multitude of bands.
Yeah,
How
but
have you had to adapt
I don't see
yourself
that.
different?
I I see it differently because I just have to put on many hats, you know, which I suppose is what they do as well. But I'm just it's weird. I have like this thought process of okay, this project I'm going to think about this specific drummer and how he plays. And then then I go to another project and I have to record an album or something. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm going to incorporate this drummer in my head and try and execute that kind of style. Yeah, it's like I'm acting but playing music.
No,
If that makes
yeah.
any sense.
If
Yeah,
you
I mean,
mm?
see,
No, I'm listening to you. I'm in listening mode now.
no. You ain't talking about. I'm listening.
This is not how it works. We both need to talk.
Okay, you talk first.
Okay. No, I was just wondering, you've chose this path, and if you have to change anything about your life, would you change anything because you're on this path right now? And if you would change something, you wouldn't have been where you are right now, possibly. So if there is something that you would have changed in your past, would you?
I think the only thing I would change is playing the drums even sooner than what I started.
Ah, that's a good one.
That's probably it.
Would you say you're content with life as it is right now?
I am. I am. I mean, there are days where we all, you know, have a day, but I do. I'm happy with everything. Like if I wasn't, then I wouldn't have chosen the family, you know, that I have. I wouldn't have married the beautiful wife that I have and have the kids that I have and
Yeah.
live in such a fucking great city and have friends like you. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
No, but it's the truth, man. Like if I didn't want to come to Cape Town, none of this would have happened. So Cape Town is where all the music started for me anyway.
what would you say is the key to contentment in life? If you have to relay that to someone who's not music or just any person, if you have to relay that in like a universal blanket answer, what would you say is the key to contentment?
Wow, bro, you're asking all these major questions tonight, eh? Oaks are tired. No, I'm kidding. Man, at the end of the day, you got to sort yourself out. Like it's you and you alone. You can make someone else happy, but at the end of the day, it's all about you. And if you're not happy, you can't make the next person happy, whether it be in your relationship or in life in general. That's the way I see it. Like, I gotta make sure that I'm happy first before I can try and help someone else. That's the
Yeah,
long and the short.
that is. I keep saying to in my mind, I always tell people you can't pour from an empty cup, and put your own oxygen mask on before you help someone else. But that's the best way to put it, to just like kind of simplify it in such a beautiful way, is you need to find ways to make yourself happy in order to find the joy in other things. And
Absolutely.
I think the perception of joy and contentment is very external. People think you need to go find it. You need to go find what makes you happy. You need to go look for it. But the salvation does start within, but you need to find what you need in order to be happy from within, if that makes sense.
Yeah, agreed.
Because
It's
Yeah, now go for it.
no, it's that simple. Just what you said. Like, you know, what makes you happy at the end of the day? This is me asking you now.
What makes me happy?
Mm.
That's For me, that's a loaded question because I've got multiple. I think one of my biggest problems is my brain is categorized in so many different categories and um, factions, if you can call it that. Like for instance, um, I would look at myself like, all right, I've accomplished something today that makes me happy. But in certain other aspects that I'm working on, for instance, I'm trying to cut a bad habit. Like, for instance, I want to try and wake up earlier. And I know I shouldn't beat myself up. I'm too hard on myself, certain things, but I won't be 100% happy on other things that I'm working on. So, and all of these multiple facets and factions in my life, um, I'm just trying to find the contentment in trying to able to balance all of that. And you'll never find that balance. And I'll always be on this ever ongoing journey to find balance. And I think what makes me happy, and this is wrong in so many facets, and I'll tell you why. I like knowing that I've made a difference in someone's life, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like you say, and one of my biggest problems is I'm still struggling, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, finding my passion, finding that joy, what from within that makes me happy. I believe what makes me happy is seeing other people happy, but it's almost like I'm trying to mirror their joy and stuff like that. So um I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest. Be super surreally honest. I'm trying to figure out what is the one thing in my life that brings me joy. I can say my wife, she brings me a lot of joy in my life, and I love her a lot, and she's changed my life drastically. But that's me loving the impact that she's made on me. You know, and I love the impact that I'm making on her. But I'm still finding that little purpose. And I know purpose is giving your life purpose. So joy and contentment and happiness for me is not as easy. And I think I'm overcomplicating things, to be real.
Overthinking. That's one thing I do a lot. And it sounds like you do it too.
All the time. It's my superpower.
Phew, bro. Can I have less of that superpower?
Yeah. Overthinking is like sometimes I need to like I overthink myself to a point where I hyperventilate and I'm like, fuck, it would start it would start so small and insignificant. Like I didn't wash the dishes this morning to a point where I'm thinking like I'm dying one day. It's like
Yeah. It's
fuck.
like
What
you
am I
just firing on all cylinders. And you're like, fuck, how did I get to this spot again?
What did I do? Like, oh yeah, dishes.
Yeah, bro. Fucking
But
life.
if you had to choose a different occupation, I had thought about it yesterday. When I was little, I wanted to be a veterinarian. You know, I wanted to be a vet, and I don't know what happened to that. You know, it's like what happened. If you had to choose a different occupation, what would you want to be?
Well, in total, it's only ever been three.
Yeah.
I narrowed it down to three. Can you believe it?
Okay.
The one is the one that I'm currently doing,
Yeah.
musician.
Great. Check that box.
There we go. Then I want to be a professional skater, like
Okay.
inline rollerblading, sort of inline rollerblading, like grinding rails and all that stuff.
Okay.
And the third one was a chef.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, don't sound so surprised.
That's like, damn. I think you would make a great chef,
Yeah, bro, I love cooking. When I'm at home, I try and cook when I can and
dude.
trying new recipes. I love it.
I can imagine you in that white coat with the little hat and stuff.
I'm gonna ask my wife to buy that for me for my birthday. It's gonna say Chef Jeff. He'll be
Yeah.
jealous.
A little bell so you can let everybody know that food's ready in the kitchen.
There we go, bro. I'm gonna have like this wall painted with so you can write on chalk on the wall. Menu for the day.
And have one of those little little panels where you can put the order in it with a little piece of paper, so you can pull the paper down and read the orders. You know, like they
There
have
we
in.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna get my sons to deliver the food on a tray. That
Yeah,
sounds like an idea.
jeez.
Little waiters.
It's like people can come to your house and have the full restaurant experience.
There we go. Sounds like a plan, actually.
Do you judge people by their music taste?
Ah, I think, yeah, I probably do. Probably do. It's probably sad to say, but I probably do.
It's not
But
sad.
at the same time, like when I don't know, it's hard. It's like I'd say it's a 50-50
Why?
because just because like someone likes, okay, I'm gonna stupid example, fucking Skrillex, for instance. Not that he's bad,
Yeah.
it's this first name that came to my mind. Uh, doesn't mean I fucking hate the guy. Like cool. You dig Skrillex, I'm all for that. You do your thing, but we're all in music. We all love music. So music as a whole is bringing people together. It doesn't matter whether it's metal or fucking Buddha music or whatever. Music.
Seriously, who still listens to Buddha music? Come on. I want to know what that's like.
Uh,
Dude, you
bro,
know,
I've googled some scary stuff, bro. I'm gonna send you links. Okay.
no. Like,
Altitude.
dude, no. The thing is, I don't care what you listen to, right? I want to know why. That's 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 why where I judge people. So if you tell me I listen to Skrillex, I'm like, okay, cool. Why? Why do you like him? And if you tell me, oh, dude, this guy is a pioneer of production, and to be able to, produce that type of music within the era that he came from, and if you have to put him next to different other producers of today's time who's able to do a lot of things just instantly with the technology they have today, great. This guy likes Skrillex because he sees the talent, and if someone tells me I like Skrillex because of whatever reason, that also I'm not judging you in a bad way. I just get an idea of how that person listens to music, and it kind of like gives me an idea how this guy perceives the world. So that's how I judge people. Like, oh, I like this band. Why? Oh, they just on the radio. So now I can already listen. So this gives me an idea. This person just, oh, whatever come whatever may. And if it sounds nice, I'll vibe with it. So this already just tells me this is a laid back person. So that's how I judge people on how they listen to music.
For sure. No, it's a good way to go about it. Um, yeah, like I said, like for me, it's like a 50-50. You know, but again, each to their own. I can't really judge anyone based on just music. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird one for me.
Now, for instance, if you tell me you hate Nickelback and I tell you and I ask you why do you hate Nickelback and you can't give me a proper reason, then you know, then I tell this
Absolutely.
then I that already tells me this person is just susceptible to whatever he reads on the internet. So
Bro,
it's
tell me what you want. I saw Nickelback live when they were here, and they were fucking amazing.
I don't care what you say about Nickelback, you know. And this my wife is probably gonna love listening to this, but I don't care what anyone says about Nickelback. You can't take away their talent, and the more people hate them, the more you're actually fueling them. The more memes you make and
Exactly.
whatever. Sure, there was a couple of shitty shows or whatever, and sure, one
Shitty
person made
shows.
a huh?
Who doesn't have shitty shows? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And sure, one ad ran on VH1 for a while and just to repeatedly mentioned some comedian saying that Nickelback is bad. Now there's a whole cult following around it. It doesn't take away the fact that they're making millions with every single one of their shows. So are they a band? No. The fact that they're out there doing what they love and making money from it and being world renowned. What are you doing in your band for telling me Nickelback sucks? You know?
Exactly. Exactly. Like
One
people have a lot to say until it comes back to them, and then they're like, chip still, bro.
Yeah. So tell me about your band.
Well, going back to Angels, Angels is
Yeah.
actually quite a big influence in my music because I'm actually starting a new band.
Okay. So just so you guys know, he is in a Bill Murray themed band. This is probably one of my favorite projects of genre. But please elaborate on the new band.
So the new band, the name is going to be In the Interim, and it's very Angels and Airways inspired, with Chris Wilson on bass.
Legend.
Um, yeah, still figuring out some more members and stuff. We might have Luke on guitar, and yeah, man, it's gonna take some time. Still in the beginning stages, writing songs and whatnot. So just keep a lookout. You'll see it eventually when it pops up. But I'll let you know, Carl. I'll let you know when it's happening.
And then I'll let the masses know.
There we go, bro. Hopefully,
Genre.
it's not shit.
It won't be shit, dude. Nothing is shit. Not, nothing is shit. If you're creating, you're creating. You're inspiring. You're doing something that you enjoy, and no one can take away from someone else if they're doing something that they enjoy. Unless it's illegal, then don't do it.
Oh, fuck.
Like if you enjoy murdering people, don't please.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
We're doing it.
I'm
Uh, yeah,
I'm coming
I
to
love
that
it.
point in the podcast where I normally ask all of my guests if you could share anything to absolutely anyone in the world, what would it be?
Just go 100% balls to the wall in whatever you do. That's it. Short and sweet.
What if you don't have balls?
Then stick your vagina to the wall, bro. Or your sackless balls, whatever. You know?
just, just whatever you have, put it
Whatever you
against
have. Bag full of dicks, just throw it against the wall, bro.
whatever you have. Put it against the wall. Just go
There we
full
go,
out.
bro. Just against the wall, bro.
To the window, to the wall.
Till the sweat dropped down my balls.
Exactly.
Shit.
So
Yeah, man.
I'd like to thank you for coming on my podcast today. It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you and to spend your time with me on this recording. And I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your wisdom and your stories with us. And yeah, thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, man. It's been a blast, and I hope it was insightful. Well,
It was
whatever. Yeah, we look forward to being on it again sometime in the future. Will be rad.
anytime. And just be happy and be inspired.
There we go. Peace.